She's plotting an appeal and planning her next chapter, but in the meantime, Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell is getting used to a life behind bars. Giving up her aristocratic lifestyle wasn't easy for Ghislaine Maxwell. Before arriving at Federal Correctional Institution, Tallahassee, she was first shipped off to Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, where she spent 22 months in solitary confinement awaiting her sentencing. She reportedly logged over 100 complaints about her living conditions there, including being fed inedible food, being filmed in the shower without consent, and being handcuffed to a chair while watching TV. Maxwell's attorneys also alleged that she feared for her life after a fellow inmate threatened to strangle her in her sleep. They also claimed that she was subjected to the lights being constantly turned on in her cell throughout the day and night, as well as a flashlight being shone in her eyes every 15 minutes to prevent her from taking her own life. Prosecutors replied by positing that Maxwell was to blame for her inadequate living conditions. In a letter to the court, they stated, "Among other things, MDC staff noted that the defendant frequently did not flush her toilet after using it, which caused the cell to smell." After being sentenced to 20 years for 5 federal charges related to sex trafficking crimes, Maxwell was transferred to FCI Tallahassee.
It's behind the high walls and the barbed wire of Florida's Tallahassee Federal Correctional Institution.
According to the Zukis Consulting Group, sex offenders and other inmates with a high likelihood of being attacked can freely mix and mingle with the rest of the female inmates at FCI Tallahassee. One of the most notable inmates at the prison besides Maxwell is Colleen LaRose, who was sentenced to 10 years after conspiring to provide material support to terrorists, among other charges. A majority of inmates at the Florida prison reportedly consider the level of violence at the minimum security prison to be moderate to low. As one of them claimed, due to the inmate population's age being so young, I would peg it as a 5 to 7 out of 10 for safety. It's not 100% safe, but the staff manages it very well. Ghislaine Maxwell's prison hobbies include catching up on reading. She reportedly starts her day at 5 a.m. with a humble breakfast before beginning her prison detail. She spends 6 hours a day working in the prison library, where she's known to recommend history books and other literature to her fellow inmates. As a source revealed to the Daily Mail in 2022, so far there have been no complaints about her. She's polite, she's well-behaved, she goes to work on time every day. If you ask her for a book in the library, she will find whatever it is you need. The general opinion of her is that she's a nice lady. After a rough start to her life in prison, Maxwell seems to have accepted her fate. As a former inmate at FCI Tallahassee told the Daily Mail, "Now she has some friends and is eating more. She's bubbly, you see her smiling. She makes a point of saying good morning. You can see she's visibly more comfortable." Ghislaine Maxwell has reportedly also made an effort to maintain her figure since she began her sentence, which includes running laps at FCI Tallahassee's outdoor track before starting her job at the library. Sources have even told The Mirror that she beats younger women in races during the prison's recreation hours, even though she's over 60 years old. As one insider revealed in 2022, Ghislaine is incredibly fit. She runs almost every day, and when not jogging on the track, she will walk with one of her friends. For her age, she is incredibly active and does a 40-minute session completing lap after lap without stopping before she needs to be back inside. FCI Tallahassee also includes a manicured garden, a softball pitch, and a basketball court, an upgrade from Maxwell's time at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was media tycoon Robert Maxwell, whose own legacy was tarnished by accusations of fraud. A similar story is now playing out with his daughter, who has gone from socialite to disgraced felon. But her ability to rise to the top of New York's most elite social circles hasn't been lost, as she's reportedly teaching etiquette lessons to her fellow inmates. As a flyer in the prison describes it, taught by Mrs. Maxwell, this course teaches the 3 principles of etiquette, focusing on respect, consideration, and honesty.
I'm here representing civil society.
That element of honesty might seem ironic, considering Maxwell's attempts to avoid detection in the midst of her federal charges. Nevertheless, she reportedly leads her classes twice a week. According to the First Step Act, inmates are allowed to leave prison up to 15 days early by logging attendance during the course. As a source told the Daily Mail in January 2023, Miss Maxwell's message is, "So what if you're a woman and a convicted felon? You're not a second-class citizen." She's an unlikely role model, but she's very passionate about this. Her courses have even become so popular that they've been translated into Spanish for the prison's Hispanic inmates. Despite her conviction, Ghislaine Maxwell has continuously maintained her innocence. During a January 2023 interview for Talk TV, she disputed the authenticity of the photograph that features her, Prince Andrew, and a then 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre. As she put it, "I don't believe it's real for a second. In fact, I'm sure it's not. There's never been an original. And further, there's no photograph. I've only ever seen a photocopy of it."
Prince Andrew's line, of course, is that he doesn't recall ever meeting Virginia Giuffre.
While Maxwell previously appeared remorseful to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, she seems to have since changed her tune. At the time of her sentencing, she acknowledged her role in the scandal, as she reportedly told the court, to you, all the victims who came in court, and those outside, I am sorry for the pain that you experienced." However, after more shocking depositions from Epstein's trial were publicized in 2024, Maxwell has made it clear that she still believes that she is innocent. She has also claimed that she didn't know the full truth about Epstein. As she put it, "I didn't know that he was so awful. I mean, obviously now looking back with hindsight, of course. But at the time, he had lots of friends. He was friendly with just about everybody you can imagine. There was no reason to imagine that he was someone who was capable of evil." Maxwell has managed to make some new friends in prison. As reported by the Daily Mail, one member of her inner circle is Linda Morrow, who helped her plastic surgeon husband defraud up to $44 million from insurance companies by falsely billing cosmetic surgeries as medically necessary to be covered by insurance. And the Mirror reported that Maxwell has also befriended convicted killer Narcy Novak, who received a life sentence after she hired a hitman to kill her millionaire husband and his mother.
She gave him a lap dance. The rest is history.
As a source claimed in 2022, given their ages and millionaire backgrounds, they were always destined to get on well. Together, they spend hours talking, laughing, and joking. Novak has also helped Maxwell avoid bullying from fellow inmates, as she has a no-nonsense reputation. As a source told the Daily Mail in 2022, Novak commands respect. People don't mess with her. Her, Ghislaine, and Linda seem to band together because they are the most high-profile prisoners there. FCI Tallahassee reportedly offers numerous activities for its inmates, including art and ceramics classes. Maxwell has reportedly been attending these classes along with her new friends, Narcy Novak and Linda Morrow. As a source told the Daily Mail in 2022, she and Linda are learning crochet and cross-stitch with Novak. Ghislaine also likes pottery. Maxwell was also voted by her cell block to represent them in the prison's checkers tournament. As the Daily Mail's source revealed, the winning unit gets a really good meal, chicken wings, pizza, that sort of thing. It's much better than the usual food. It's a big deal. Nobody cares what you're in for, so long as you win. Ghislaine Maxwell was used to a life of luxury, but her new reality is dormitory-style cell blocks with no doors. She and her fellow inmates live in 4 large open rooms, complete with bunk beds and small lockers to store possessions. This lack of privacy makes it difficult to avoid negative attention. As a source told the Daily Mail in 2022, they knew her story when she arrived. Some of the girls were jeering at her, calling her a nasty old woman, saying she got what she deserved. The units are basically like a warehouse, so it's hard to escape from that. Maxwell's friendship with Narcy Novak reportedly helps her fly under the radar, as the convicted killer is considered the top dog in their cell block unit. As the block's orderly, she's reportedly in charge of the sleeping arrangements for the inmates in Unit B South. Ghislaine Maxwell took her running regimen to the next level in February 2024 when she participated in the prison's half marathon. 19 inmates ran in the event that had them completing 52 laps around the barbed wire enclosed running track for a total of 13.1 miles. In addition to running, Maxwell has also been staying active with yoga and Pilates classes. Maxwell might have been blowing off some steam as she prepared for her appeal hearing in March 2024. She was previously convicted on 5 counts of sex trafficking for her role in recruiting girls for Jeffrey Epstein's scheme.
Ghislaine Maxwell wants out of prison.
According to court documents obtained by Forbes, Maxwell and her legal team argue that one of her jurors was unfairly allowed to participate in the trial after being a victim of sexual abuse and not disclosing that information. Ghislaine Maxwell has reportedly adopted her late father's Jewish faith, which has allowed her to receive the benefits offered to inmates practicing Judaism. Robert Maxwell was born into an Orthodox Jewish family, though Ghislaine reportedly never publicly identified with the faith before she ended up behind bars. Prisoners identifying as Jewish are allowed more expensive kosher meals, as well as time off on Saturdays to observe the Sabbath. Maxwell can also excuse herself from her prison duties to observe Jewish holidays, and she's allowed to have wine and grape juice in the breaking of the bread. Maxwell was reportedly contacted by the civil rights prisoner organization Reaching Out, a group that aims to help Jewish prisoners receive their proper benefits while serving time. A spokesperson for Reaching Out said in August 2023, "Maxwell is in touch with our organization. We have and will continue to address her needs." Ghislaine Maxwell could eventually add author to her resume. As reported by the Daily Mail in February 2024, a tell-all book may be in the works regarding the misinformation she believes exists regarding her relationship with the late Jeffrey Epstein. Sources told the Daily Mail that Maxwell has been advising other inmates not to believe the reports, and that she'd hoped to dispel any hearsay by writing a memoir to expose the truth. She reportedly hopes that a book could clear her name and help throw out the many charges against her. Maxwell has been working in the legal library for her prison detail, where she reportedly keeps a copy of the manuscript. While she's prohibited from accepting a publishing deal, she is allowed to mail a private manuscript to a family member or friend who can release it for her. As the Daily Mail's source claimed, apparently it's already finished, but she is waiting for the right moment to publish it.